For 2 years, I logged a deficit every single week. Every single week on paper, I was down. Yet for 2 years, the scale barely moved and I couldn't work out why. Turns out I wasn't in a deficit after all. I just wasn't counting the milk in my coffees or the food my girlfriend couldn't finish. And after helping over 300 men lose fat and keep it off, I can tell you if you're stuck right now, I'd put money on it you're doing one of the 3 things I'm going to walk you through. So here's usually how this goes, and it's never the big obvious stuff. You're tracking most days and most meals, more than you're not tracking. Breakfast goes in, lunch goes in, and dinner goes in. But then Thursday night, your friend gets out the beers. You have one, maybe two, and you don't log it. You're not trying to lie, obviously, but it doesn't feel like it counts. It's a Thursday, it's a social event. You've got to enjoy yourself, right? After all, it's not actually food, you're just drinking it. Then Saturday rolls around. You're cooking, you taste the sauce twice. You finish the kids' leftovers off their plate because chucking food away is wrong and feels wrong. Sunday, you're a bit tired and you're eating standing at the counter. You're having some nuts, you're having some fruit while the food is getting made. But that doesn't go into the app either. And the reason that sounds so accurate is that's what my life was like for 2 years. You try to convince yourself none of it counts because you weren't sat at a table eating an actual meal with a fork and a plate. So by Sunday night, you've logged a deficit all week. On paper, you should be down. But the scale on Monday says otherwise. And that's when the excuses show up. Tracking doesn't work for me. My metabolism's just built differently. Cortisol, my hormones, I need to cut calories a bit more to lose fat. Except, it's not that tracking failed you. It's what you left out of it. And look, there's research to back this up too. People on restrictive diets, low calorie or low carb, underreport what they've eaten close to double the rate of everyone else. And it's not random what gets left out either. It's always whatever the person felt a bit guilty about. Nobody forgets the chicken, the rice, the vegetables, the fruit. But everybody forgets to log the thing that actually felt like cheating. So if you've ever told yourself tracking doesn't work for you, ask yourself, are you tracking absolutely everything you eat? Every single snack, every single bite, healthy or not? Because imagine saying that tracking your finances doesn't work for saving. Now, of course, tracking accurately is huge. But here's the thing that actually keeps people stuck way longer than tracking ever does. You can fix your logging within a week. That's easy. What you can't fix in a week is an environment that was never set up for this. Never set up for you to lose fat. One you've never said a word about. One of my clients, Dan, was 47 and he ran his own business. He trained hard, ate well Monday to Friday without fail. But every single weekend he enjoyed himself, maybe a bit too much. And it wasn't willpower. It was that his whole social life ran on Friday drinks, Saturday big meals out, then takeaways and just no structure in general. He'd never once said any of that needed to change, but he'd just turn up, order what everyone else ordered, and resent having to be good around people who had no clue what he was even trying. He told me once that the worst part wasn't food. It was doing the calorie math in his head at a table while pretending everything was just normal. Of course, that's exhausting. And nobody keeps that up forever, no matter how disciplined they are. So we didn't touch his training, we didn't touch his diet. We worked on one conversation. Telling his wife Saturday could be about something other than pizza and wings on the sofa. Telling his friends some pints on a Friday, but no takeaway following it. And that was it. No ultimatums and nothing dramatic. You see, he wasn't asking anyone else to change their life. He was just asking them to actually know his, to understand his goals. Sure, you'll get friends taking a mick, but they'll understand if they're actually real friends. And 6 months later, Dan was down 30 pounds because he'd fixed what was holding him back more than his tracking, his environment. Remember, most people treat their environment just like the weather, like something that just happens to them. It's not. It's a pile of unspoken agreements you made with the people around you before you even decided to change anything. And those agreements don't just rewrite themselves just because you downloaded an app or got AI to write you the best program to lose fat and build muscle. Somebody's got to actually say something out loud. And there's something more powerful underneath both of them. Look, the tracking gap and the environment you never addressed, they're kind of the same things wearing two different outfits. And neither one of them are about food or willpower. Well, underneath the layer. They're just about what happens when you haven't actually decided. I know you're going to think, oh, obviously, because think about what deciding actually looks like. If you decided the Thursday wine matters, you'd log it, as uncomfortable as that is. If you truly decided the takeaway on Saturday mattered, you'd have had that chat with your wife a long time ago, instead of trying to ignore it because the rest of your week was just dialed in so you earned it. Not wanting something isn't lazy. It's a string of small, reasonable sounding exceptions that never get questioned, because questioning them means admitting you'd actually have to commit to the thing you say you want. And that's also why the fast option is so tempting, because it lets you skip the deciding altogether. Think about it. Like crash diets sell you the idea that none of this needs facing. You can skip the conversations, the accurate tracking, and just cut hard and get it over with within a few weeks or a few months. Well, you think you can. Hoping you'll be done before anyone else notices. But I've seen how this plays out, and so have the researchers. When you match a fast approach for a slower one, for the same total weight loss, the faster group ends up losing more of it as muscle, less as fat, and gets hit with a bigger metabolic slowdown and a lot of frustration. Not to mention a lot higher hunger levels. And one particular study followed people for a full year, people who were lifting the entire time, and they'd put on back over half of what they originally lost. And you don't want that. So the crash diet doesn't fail because it's extreme, but it fails because it was never meant to survive your actual life. And your actual life is exactly what your commitment has to survive. So here's what I would do starting today, not Monday. Pick one day, preferably today, and log everything without editing yourself. Don't make any adjustments. The bite you eat off the pan, the nuts you eat, the fruit you eat, standing there waiting for food. But remember, don't beat yourself up. You need all the data. You need the accurate data. Now think about the week. What's the one thing that works against you every time? For some people, it's their partner. Not necessarily that they're a bad person, just they haven't had that conversation. For some, it's a friend who orders rounds without even asking them. Another round, another round. And for some, it's just a Friday that's become a habit of unwinding to too many drinks, which just blows out an entire weekend. Whichever it is, say something about it this week. Have that serious and somewhat, well, sometimes even awkward conversation. It doesn't need to be a board meeting though. Just make it known that you are serious about this, the same way Dan did. And if you're ever choosing between a plan that promises you something fast, fat loss, fast fat loss, lose 30 pounds in 20 days or 30 days, and one that asks something slow of you that involves you changing, your behaviors changing, ask yourself honestly, which one could you be doing in 6 months? To me, that's the only question that actually matters. Look, like most things fat loss, none of this is complicated. It's just a bit nobody wants to look at directly because it's easier to blame the app or your metabolism or your program than have one honest conversation. And to me, nutrition starts at breakfast. And most people are making these 3 breakfast mistakes. I fix it in this next video. Go give it a watch. I'll see you there.